Krista Mecki here with Magnetic Magnificent Events. Continuing on with the March education series. So it is the 13th day of March and it's the 13th reason to hire a planner of our series here, 31 days, 31 reasons to hire a planner. Thank you to those that have tuned in to follow along, and it's been fun. So today's was actually inspired by a groom I was chatting with yesterday, a good friend of mine, and looking at different things that we're trying to do for his wedding. And I have to say what he said to me. He said, you know, we're both young, we're professionals. We honestly don't know if either one of us can hire a planner. And it sort of made me laugh because that's exactly why this series is here. Because I encourage people to obviously hire a planner. But let me just share something else. You can't afford to not have a planner. And here's what I mean. And here's reason 13 to hire a planner. You can't afford not to have a planner. So what do I mean by that? Think about all the other expenses that go into it. Matter of fact, I just emailed another couple today. I know exactly what they've paid on their venue because I actually sold them the venue. And I mentioned to them, you know, the same aspect. All the money that you've spent on the venue, on the dress, on the grooms, on the flowers, on the DJ, all of these other things typically cost more than the planner, just, you know, FYI. But all of the money that you spent, can you imagine it not going right on the day you got there? It blows my mind for people to say, oh, I can't afford to hire a planner. No, you can't afford not to, because you don't know about all the things that have to come into place to make sure everything gets kicked off correctly. I was doing a study I was actually studying a certification out of Europe, and they charge a percentage of your entire production, right? Which is great. I would love to have that be how we get paid here in the United States, but not quite that way. But they tell you, you know, if you're spending, you know, 60 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, doesn't matter what it is, that 10% fee that goes to your planner, typically, that's nothing. You think about it. You're spending X amount of dollars to make sure that your event is flawless because your big dollar amounts are already being spent elsewhere in the things that are the tangibles. And this is really a reason, I think, why I sort of, again, got into this 31 days, 31 reasons. You don't think about a planner because it's an intangible, right? It's oh, my friend can do it. Oh, I don't need a professional. Until you have everything go wrong and you realize you should have had a professional. I can even shift gears here and talk about on the corporate side of things, right? Same principle applies. You may not think that somebody else can do it, but your reason to have a planner is because you can't afford to not have one. And most corporate events know that. Most corporate people know that. It just depends on what sort of professional they're going to be hiring. But when you think about it, you know, somebody that says, I can't afford to, no, you really can't afford not to. And that's really the reason why you should hire a planner, because you don't understand the costs associated with it. And that's okay, right? Because that's what this education series is about. I'm taking people from not knowing to knowing. Whether it's something you're super interested or not, I guess we'll find out when you watch the video. But the fun thing for me is I love taking people from not knowing to knowing in whatever sphere of influence I have in that regard. And so in terms of your wedding, in terms of your event, if you find, or if you have a friend out there that's doing something and you hear them say, you know what, I don't really think I can afford a planner. That's exactly why you should have one. Because it typically means that you're probably not understanding how much you should pay for a venue, how much you should pay for catering, or if that's combined, how much you should pay for a DJ, how much you should pay for flowers, how much you should pay for makeup artists. And sometimes the cheapest isn't the best. Oftentimes the cheapest isn't the best. You know, I'm not the cheapest planner out there, and I have no problem telling people my exact rates and why I charge that much, right? But they can make their decision whether it's for them or not. But at least pursuing it, not pursuing it, leaves you ignorant to what you don't know. So having the conversation, setting up a consultation, having a discussion about your event, what it's going to take, can really make sure that it's being pulled off without a hitch, right? Nobody is trying to plan an event for it to go completely wrong. Except, again, for the Fyre Fest people. I think they actually believed in their mind that it would go right. It just didn't. And nothing about it actually went right. And so, you know, that's, again, a reason to hire a planner. And so I just was, again, inspired last night from a text conversation I was having, somebody very near and dear to me, and I really want their function to go well. And so I encourage them to, you know, stick with it. Let's just have a consultation. Let's just jump on the line. Let's talk about it. Let's see what it looks like. because I think there's an assumption that it's one of those things that's going to just completely blow you out of the water, and it's not. Not for the amount of money you're spending elsewhere to actually have it happen. It's the reason you should hire a planner. And so thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, it's been another super busy day with a million clients on the deck, but we'll get back to writing the blog so I can go a little more in depth of what I'm talking about. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Click subscribe. We appreciate it. Share the video with your friends. If you're watching us on Facebook, we appreciate that as well. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're a fan of Magnetic Magnificent Events already, cool, great, appreciate it. If not, slide on over to our Facebook page. Make sure you like it. Check us out on Instagram, Magnetic Magnificent Events. And keep you posted on some cool things coming up. We've got almost halfway through the month, so stay with me. I've got plenty more reasons. I'm trying to keep it entertaining. And until next time, stay magnificent.